Hello, I'm Dr. Jack Hinderman.
And I'm Dr. Jenny Leist.
And we're your family's chiropractor in Dubuque, Iowa. And today we're going to send another message about stress out there.
The
Third category.
Everybody thinks about.
Yeah, so when we say stress, what do you think about?
Emotional.
The bills, the kids, the husband, the work, the lack of time in the day, the lack of money at the end of the week. That is what we would call emotional stress.
Yep.
So, some would say, well, what the heck does emotional stress have to do with chiropractic? And to answer that question, really we could get extremely nerdy and talk about positive and negative thoughts and how that neurologically in the brain gets filtered and sent through the amygdala, right, the stress and anxiety centers. We could get into that and talk about how that changes physiology and creates a sicker body because you go into survival mode, right? When the amygdala is triggered, you go into that fight or flight, that survival mode. And the problem with being in survival mode is that everything works differently when you're in survival mode than when you're in that peaceful growth and development state. Right?
Yep.
Remember what Bruce Lipton says about the nervous system?
You can't be in growth and protection at the same time.
That's right. It can't be in growth and protection at the same time. So we want to get out of protection mode so that we can live a better life in growth mode, where your body is more able, where your brain is more able to see things in a way that's going to add value into your life.
Yes.
You agree? Yeah.
Yep.
So how do you do that? Well, I tell you what, the chiropractic adjustment affects the amygdala.
It does.
Yeah. So it has to do with the afferentation, so the way that the nerves signal the body through movement. So proper joint neurology is extremely important to how the brain perceives stress. Now, when we look on the other end of that, we gotta look at, okay, so we're putting this stress load on our body because we just live in a really busy time in human existence, where there's a lot of potentials out there to create extra emotional stress that maybe wasn't along, 5,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Like 5,000 years ago, you didn't have to worry about someone pulling out in front of you in their car, or someone, posting something on Facebook that you don't agree with and really gets your blood boiling. You didn't have to worry about that back then. What you had to worry about was, am I going to have food to feed my family this week? And possibly,
maybe.
Shelter and
Water.
Possibly some family things as well. But
Yeah.
we're in a different world for sure, and I happen to like the world we're in, so that's good. We just got to learn to maneuver our way through that. So in order to maneuver your way through that, you want to be able to reduce your stress load emotionally and mentally, and there's a couple of really simple strategies that you can start to instill to really help with that.
Yep.
What's your favorite one?
I like the gratitude. When we do that around Thanksgiving, it's like everybody seems a little happier, and I like doing them. But
yeah, so when you're counting your blessings, when you're looking at all the things that you're grateful for, there's no room. You consciously cannot have two thoughts going on in your mind at the same time. I know that sounds weird because some of us are like, oh, there's just so much going on in our brain. But if you pay attention to what's going on in your brain, it's only one thought at a time. It might be one thought, right? You know what I mean? Like bouncing all over the place like a pinball. That's not going on in my brain. Mine's
not at all.
mine's straight down the road. No, but when you're focusing on gratitude, and when you're focusing on the things that you want to create and the value that you want to add, and just like the things that you're grateful for, when you're in that mind space, there's no room for the other stuff. So that's a good strategy. You can instill some sort of a gratitude ritual. An example of a gratitude ritual would be you can do it two different ways. You could do it like first thing in the morning before your feet hit the floor. Think of something that you're grateful for. Start off the day that way. The other end of it is, when you go to bed. The last thing you think about before you go to bed is what are the things that have happened that particular day that you're grateful for. And sometimes it might be hard for you to find one thing, but that's you can find them. They're out there.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's my big tip. I was going to dive a little deeper with some other things, but let's just work on that one because that one's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Again, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're in this bad space with stress, overwhelm, then consider chiropractic. And I know that might sound strange and foreign to some people, but consider chiropractic because neurologically we can access those centers of the brain that help calm down that physiological stress response, and then we can we can lay out strategies to improve the situation that you're currently in. So if you do not have a chiropractor, if you want to inquire more about our office, you can check us out on the web at www.ffcwc. You can like us on Facebook and stay engaged in some of our posts and health tips and videos. Or you can just call the office and set up a consultation to come in and talk with me or Dr. Jenny, and we can look at ways to improve your life and your health and the health of your family. So our phone number is 556-6921 with the area code 563. Okay. Anything else to add to that?
Nope, I think you covered it all. Google circles.
Google circles. I always forget about that one. So, all right, well, I'm Dr. Jack Hinderman.
And I'm Dr. Jenny Leist.
And we look forward to connecting with you soon.